Hi, this is Bill, and this is going to be a box opening and initial thoughts on a radio that I got from Empire RC. It's a company that I've haven't heard of before until just recently. Another member on URC pointed out this company, and they seem to have some budget cars out there on the market. And I happened to see this radio, this 3-channel radio that they had offered. I believe it was about $100 shipped, and didn't have very many details on it. It's called the MT-3D from Merit RC, and I just wanted to at least see what this radio was about, since there was really no information available online, and wanted to see how it stacks up to other budget radios on the market. And I'm going to try and cover as much information about this as I can, or at least with what I know. As more information becomes available, I'll make sure to provide updates on the review threads. So just click on the link to the description of this video for more details. And the thing that drew me in with interest on this radio was that the dealer had advertised that this radio was compatible with, quote, most brands of 2.4 gigahertz radios on the market, and I went through 5 different brands myself. I went through KO Propo, FlySky, Radio Link, and what else was there? Good grief. A couple more escaped me. There's a generic Turnigy brand, a Basher brand. Each of these 5 different radios, all were not compatible with each other, and I also confirmed that none of those were compatible with this system either. So I'm not sure what their meaning of most brands of radios out there. I didn't have any luck. So I may try to take this to the track and try to see if the Futaba guys or the Airtronic guys, see if it's compatible with those, and we'll see how it goes from there. I'm a little disappointed with that. From that, this radio, for the price, I'm just going to cut to the chase so that way you guys don't have to bore you guys all the way through. I don't feel this radio is worth the $100 value they have set. There are other budget radios out on the market that offer far more features, far more comfortable ergonomics than this radio. For what I paid here, I just don't think it's worth it. Now, for those who want to continue listening, I'll list all the reasons. I'll just start right off with the ergonomics. The steering is set back a little farther back from the throttle. This is just a personal preference. I like to have the steering wheel in line with the trigger. It just feels more comfortable for me. This particular setup just isn't quite there. The grip is somewhat comfortable. It's a little hard for the most part. This is a typical inexpensive entry-level quality feel. I do like that the antenna is recessed, so the antenna is actually hidden in front of this trigger guard, which is nice. The spring rate is a little tighter than what I'm used to feeling. It's a 50-50 setup on the trigger, and the steering is also kind of on the tight side as well. I haven't taken off the steering wheel to see if it's compatible with other brands like the Energy and whatnot. Sometimes there might be an adapter there that'll make it fit. The foam is a little on the hard side for me, a little firm. I mean, it does come off. You can replace this if you want to. I do like that there are some quick trim buttons on the steering, which is nice to be able to make trim adjustments. That's pretty decent. The battery tray takes standard AA size batteries, takes 4 AA's. It looks like this tray might be removable, but I'm having a hard time pulling it out. It doesn't come out easily, so I'm probably not going to invest too much of my effort into this radio, but it does look like it can be swapped out, possibly with a LiPo. I believe this will support up to a 2-cell LiPo for the transmitter if you desire. It does have a charge port for this radio. However, it is not a standard size port, and now this cover is not wanting to cooperate with me here. I swear I'm not trying to do this on purpose. There we go. Come on. There we go. Alright. So I do like the different two-tone finishes here with it, but here is the charge adapter is right here. It is a non-standard. I tried putting a Futaba style and it won't fit in there. There is no information as to where I can get a charge adapter that will work for this, so you're kind of good luck. I don't know what to tell you there. The on-off switch is recessed in here, which is kind of nice, so you don't have to worry about accidentally turning it on or off while in use. And it does have, I'll try to put in here, there is a third channel button right here, which is kind of accessible with the thumb while you're using it, which is kind of nice. Let me go ahead and turn the radio on so you can kind of see some of the features. Now, it does have an LED indicator showing the radio is on and off. This is actually the bind button. So the way it would work here with this radio is you power on the receiver, you push down the button on the receiver, it starts to flash and puts it in bind mode, and then you hit this button here and it begins to flash and then it syncs up to it. I tried following that same steps with all the other brands of radios. Although the binding here works fine, I could not get this radio to bind with any other radio that I tested, other brand of radio, excuse me. I'm a little disappointed. It's supposed to offer a 3-character model memory name, and when you look on, let's see if I can peel this plastic off so you can see a little better, you'll see here it just says Mod 0. If you want to see the model name, you have to go into the menu settings. So I have to hit the left arrow here. You can see that it's TE5, and then and that's actually in edit mode. So if I want to go into different models, then you actually have to, it's actually trying to edit it right now. So, and it's a little awkward getting through the menu. There is no quick button to get to a menu option. You actually have to toggle through all the different settings. So like when I start off in the very front here, here's where it's Model 5, then there's the name, then it shows the battery. So this is where you start off when you first turn it on. It shows the battery voltage. Then I would go, the first menu option to the right shows the dual rate setting for the steering. Then you have to go in here, and then you can set the reverse mode for steering, the reverse mode for the throttle, and then the reverse mode for the third channel auxiliary button. Then the next menu option goes into the EPA setting for the steering for the right, and then you can turn it for the left as well. So you turn it right or left for adjusting the EPA for the steering. Same thing for the throttle, forward and reverse. You hold the trigger down for forward and reverse, and it toggles back and forth for your EPA settings there. Same thing for the auxiliary. You can adjust the EPA on the auxiliary as well. Then it does have steering expo, which is nice, but there are no other advanced features beyond exponential, so you won't be able to do channel mixing or any other kind of fancy upgrades beyond that. So it has exponential for the steering, the throttle, and then here's a sub trim, which is also adjustable up on the top here, so you can do left, right, and it shows the trim settings as you make your adjustments there. And then the trim for the throttle, and then it's got the I'm not sure what the STM is. I'll have to look at that more carefully. It's got the ABS, and then back to the model memory. Now if I want to select the model, I can go up to Mod 1, Mod 2, 3, 4, and it does have 10 model memories, numbered 0 through 9. Let me go back to 0, which is the default, and then that's it. Well, it's going back into editing the name. And that's pretty much all this radio has to offer. Let me go through some of the things. I hooked this radio up to my PPM monitor, and I was able to get a reading of 64 Hertz, which converts out to 15.6 milliseconds on it, and the centering was actually pretty decent. When I went to full left and full right on the steering, it went to 1502 on the left and 1500 on the right, which is, or 2 thousandths of off on, which is pretty much dead center for the most part. The BEC on the receiver, I was able to measure 5.9 volts on the BEC. And then as far as other specifications, it does have a traditional power, or a standard power output of 100 milliwatts, which is pretty standard with most radios. The input voltage on the transmitter supports up to 9.6 volts, which is well enough for it to be able to put a 2S LiPo if you wanted to. And then another thing on the receiver does handle a high voltage, so you can put a 2S LiPo on that as well, which is kind of nice. It does say it supports failsafe for all the channels as well. And it pretty much has all of your basic other features that are out there. Other than that, for the price, I just think it's a little overpriced for what it is. Not really going to recommend this to anyone going forward, but here it is what it is. It's I don't think it's going to be a bad radio, but I don't think it's going to be a extraordinarily great radio either. Anyway, thanks for watching, and see you guys on the forums.